we're back. Welcome to Let's Talk Books Unscripted.
Don't want to cheers too hard.
That's hot tea.
Hopefully you can find your way on here. Oh, and let us know if we are correct. Like, because whoever was on here last time said that we were like flipped. The screen was mirrored for some reason.
They thought we switched spots, but we didn't.
We did not do that. So unless I bumped something by accident, and hopefully I didn't do that this time, that we're on the right sides.
Yeah.
We were like, no, we didn't switch spots.
And then I watched it back, and I was like, oh yeah, it is backwards. So
because it did not look backwards to us. So yeah, hopefully
we don't know what happened. So.
It is correct for you guys. But anyway, and I was gonna say about the tea before we get going here, which obviously we're here to talk about books, but the tea that I'm going to try that I haven't even sipped yet because it's so hot. Oopsies, is from Harney Sons. I don't know, maybe you already, this is the packet that it was in. Maybe you already enjoy Harney Sons, but it came recommended to me when I asked on Instagram for some tea recommendations.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get into some teas. I guess I can't speak for Corey, but like I would like to get into tea more. He probably naturally likes it more than I do, but I'm a little bit more picky because I want something to be sweet enough, but also not too sweet. Yeah. So that's going to be kind of trial and error for me. Hey.
Hi,
Thanks
Cassie.
for joining, Cassie. So yeah, it came recommended to me and I contacted them and we're like officially partnering with them now. So they sent us a couple.
Good evening.
They sent us a couple like sample ones. So that's what this one is. It's a Dragon Pearl Jasmine tea, which I looked it up and it has like a little bit of caffeine in it. So hopefully I'll be okay. But I would have loved to try this one, which is what we ordered.
It is Harney Sons.
It is. So we ordered this one, like the loose leaf tea from them, but this one has even more caffeine in it. So I'm like, probably not. This is their
Winter White Earl Grey.
Yeah, if anybody's had that, let us know. But I'll have to have that, like maybe if I need an afternoon pick me up.
Yeah.
Paris. Okay.
Oh, good.
So we're excited to try some more of their tea. They're actually sending us some more pretty soon here that I didn't order. So we're getting like a freebie collection from them, which is really awesome. He's on Instagram and, you know, repping them that way too. Because I think you did send me some tea recommendations. So yeah, I'm excited to sip that when it's not too hot.
It seems like a good partnership for us.
Yeah, obviously we have our beer and books, and I think beer and books goes well, but also tea does.
Tea and books.
I definitely think of like curling up with a blanket and a book and like a hot mug of tea. So
yeah, one of our goals was to drink more tea this year.
Yes, some more. And being more cozy.
Neither of us have ever really gotten into it.
Yeah,
I like tea, but I've never really gotten big into it.
Yeah, we just haven't been tea connoisseurs.
We just gotta find the right tea. So it's kind of cool to try this one out.
And what better way to really get into it when we're in the middle of winter here. Yes. So we've got lots of winter left.
It is tea season.
We had a teas day last week when it got up over 50 here in Wisconsin, which is quite crazy. But then of course, back to reality the last few days.
Well, try your tea.
It definitely feels like winter.
Try the tea. It's called Dragon Pearl Jasmine.
Oh, there we go. It was not
floral tea.
That's very good.
Very delish.
Yes, that's good. It smells really, really good.
It's got a small amount of caffeine.
So hopefully I'll be right. Okay, I guess Corey's gonna try it too.
Let me give it a whirl.
Since he's otherwise having a sparkling water.
Hey, Nicole. Yeah.
Yes, we are, because we're partnering now with Harney Sons. Oh, you put honey in that. That would be good. We don't have any honey right now, actually. Nice. So we should get some.
So we ordered their Winter White Earl Grey, and they are sending us some more teas to try, which was pretty cool. They're going to send us a couple things to try
collection, actually, I think. So see how many are in the collection.
We're excited to be officially partnered with them as a partnership.
Yes, so that's pretty
you got to have tea and books. That's pretty awesome.
So that's what you missed.
That's what you missed.
We haven't really gotten into books yet, but yeah, we wanted to mention that. I do have our link with them in the description of this video. If you want to shop through us that way. I don't know if I can make lists or anything on my link of ones that we like, because we kind of have to get to know their teas, but if I'm able to do that, I will.
Yes.
Make some recommendations for specific ones.
Yes, we had to figure out some good non-caffeinated teas.
That we can have
a lot of them we got are caffeinated.
Yeah. which is great. It could be an alternative for coffee in the
we're
morning.
both big into
big coffee drinkers. And that was another thing we wanted to cut back on this year was like our just caffeine intake in general. So I know tea most of the time has like less caffeine overall, I guess depending on what you pick. But like instead of more coffee in the afternoon, I'm trying to do something different. Like even if it's like chai, like a chai tea latte or chai, or like something it's got caffeine, but
still caffeine, so
but not too much. Yeah.
You know, just switch it up a little bit.
But let's get to the books.
But yeah, we got some good stuff to talk about. I finished a book over the weekend, which is pretty cool for me. It was a short book, so don't be too impressed.
It was a novella.
And Katie's
so technically, it's a still book. It's not a novella.
Katie literally just finished a book.
Literally.
Like
right before we put the kids to bed.
20 minutes ago. We put the kids to bed quick.
Yeah.
And we hopped right on here, so.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
We could talk about those right away. I also finished a really where's my Kindle? A really short one myself yesterday. So it was literally a one sitting thing. I read it in like less than an hour. For any Abby Jimenez fans out there, if you are a Kindle user as well,
yeah,
they definitely still do.
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah,
they
definitely still
that.
do.
On Goodreads, it's one read. You know, it's all it counts as a book. It counts as a book.
The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. I have it here on my Kindle. You can get it now instead of March 1st. I think is like the official pub date for it, or when it was like supposed to release. But she made it available earlier for if you have Kindle Unlimited, or you can get it through Prime First Read. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, then you can get it that way. And yeah, I downloaded it I think 2 days ago. I think it was Saturday that I saw that it was available, and then I read it yesterday afternoon, and I was done with it super quick. Very cute. So again, that one counts too, even though it was like incredibly short. It was even shorter than the one that you finished. It was like 80 pages on my Kindle or something like that. So yeah,
give me some credit.
It all counts.
Yeah. So we asked right when we hopped on, but a few people are on now. Are we like on the right direction? Someone said last week we were switched spots, and it looked like we had something on. It was mirrored. So we're wondering, is it correct today? I should be.
No, we're not on the correct side, or we are. If we're flipped again, then I don't know what's going on, because I have not messed with any settings or anything like that. So if anybody knows like what the deal is with YouTube,
when I watched it,
we're not on the correct side. That's so weird.
What's going on?
Well, then I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to look into our settings.
What's going on here?
Don't do it while we're live. Nope, you can't do that.
Wait a second. This is correct.
Nope. It's going a different direction. Oh, the phone. Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I normally put it that way, but you can't switch it now.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can't switch it.
Okay. They were backwards.
Bummer.
What's going on?
Well, I don't know what to do to fix it. I'm gonna have to like Google it or something like that and find out what the deal is. Because I swear I did not touch anything or do anything different than I normally do.
Someone said that, and I was like, oh, interesting. I watched it back, and
because clearly for us right now, it looks normal.
It does.
So that's strange. So then when he went to look at it afterwards, like the playback, well, we're glad you're still watching.
You're still watching.
So we'll have to mess with it later. Don't do it while we're on.
Okay.
We don't want to hang up on them. Okay. Go out of that.
Well, we'll try to figure it out for next week.
Don't need that.
But one thing I wanted to bring up here is, and get everyone's opinion. We will come back.
Good.
I wanted to get everyone's opinion on when you look at reviews for books, because for me, I never will look at a review before I read a book. You know, if I want to read a book, I am going to read it. And one thing I do is I go on Goodreads, I put in my review, I do my star rating, and then I'll look back at everyone's reviews of the book.
Mhm.
So I want Katie to answer the question, do you ever go on Goodreads, check out a review, and then base whether or not you'll read a book based on the reviews?
No.
No.
No, I mean, occasionally I will look at reviews before I start a book, but not technically. Most of the time or typically, that was the word I was looking for. Typically, I don't look at reviews until like after.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I've been curious ahead of time.
Yeah.
And looked at them.
But
it doesn't make me either not read the book or. Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Cause I don't want a review to like sway me in one way or the other.
I like it.
You know.
Why did I click that?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Because with this novella that I read, I don't always go to review. Okay. Yeah. See, I never want to base whether or not I'm reading a book based on the reviews, and I remember I was kind of watching it on your book club once. I was watching it on your book club, your in-person book club, and you guys were going on Goodreads and looking at the average review, and you're kind of basing like, should we read it on that? And
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't care so much about that, but I feel like a lot of people in my book club do for some reason, my in-person book club. And I feel like, we could sit there and do that all day. And it's, it's like not everybody, just because we pick a book that might be like a slightly lower average rating on Goodreads doesn't mean that we as a group won't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting because I think they were like, oh, these last couple of books that we read were duds. And they go on and look on Goodreads and they're like, oh, they were rated lower. And I don't know. It's like it's a hit or miss situation.
Yeah. I just make a point. If I want to read a book, I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to check the reviews before I read the book. But one thing I always do is I look at them after.
Yeah.
And another point I wanted to bring up is, do you ever change your rating of a book based on what other people are saying about it?
I don't think I've done that when I've read somebody else's review on Goodreads, like somebody that I don't personally know.
Yes.
But I have done that after discussing it with book club.
Yeah. So similar.
But normally I find myself going the positive direction.
Yeah.
Or, well, I guess it's been both, but like I feel like, for example, they are, because sometimes it's like it gives another perspective. Like that's why I definitely love solo reading. I love being able to read on my own, and I don't always have this like strong urge to talk about it with somebody, but that is nice. But yeah, that's why you get different experience once you buddy read or do a book club. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, because the one that's coming to mind for me sort of recently was In the Lives of Puppets that we did for in-person book club. In-person book club. By TJ Klune, and I think I ended up like going up a star or half star or something like that after we talked about it, because I was just like, I really, really enjoyed it. And it just like I don't know about you guys, but I often rate books based on how I feel, based on how they make me feel, like the vibes of a book. So like, yes, I am gonna go lower if it like just really didn't feel like it was a well-written book, like once you sit on it for a bit.
That's true.
I know, because sometimes I feel like I'll read a book and like just do it immediately. Like, what is my immediate like reaction, like right when I finish?
And you can change them.
And then sometimes you're
you
like,
can change them on Goodreads.
Yeah, maybe I want to go down a little bit on that after all, or up. Yeah. But no, I don't know. I read for mostly entertainment purposes, so I think, and I shouldn't speak for you, but I do feel like we're both pretty generous readers overall.
Super generous.
Because I don't know, it's like, I just like enjoyed it. I don't sit and like completely pick apart a book, really.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, like where there's not a whole lot that really bothers me. I mean, so it's like, it's gotta be a pretty poorly written book for
That's
me
cool.
to like feel like I'm hating on it, you know, like
Yeah.
where I'm only gonna give,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm very generous rater. See, and another question I have is, do you think if you're going to read a book all the way through, so you're going to read a book all the way through, you're not going to DNF it, but you give it 1 star. All right, me and Katie have discussed this before. It's like, if you dislike a book that much,
that's a DNF for
why
me.
would you read it?
Well,
why would you read it all the way through?
Yeah.
I mean, I realize you probably want to see how it ends.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm disliking a book that much, and then you give it a 1 star rating, but you read the whole book.
Yeah. If I, in my mind, am thinking that it would be 1 star, I don't finish it. With the exception of a book we did do for in-person book club last year. And that was one where I went back and changed my rating.
Guilty.
I originally gave it 2 stars, and so I did finish the book. And of course, I felt pressure to because it was a book
For
club
book club.
Otherwise, if I had been reading that book solo, oh my gosh, I 1000% would have quit on it after I don't even know how many pages. Back to the library, it would have gone because I got that one from the library. Thank goodness I did not pay money for it. But I will share the title if you want me to. But I feel bad saying really negative things about books. It's just I don't know. I feel bad. And I honestly couldn't even tell you who the author was. So that's how, like, non-memorable it was.
And that one was, like, overall, throughout the whole book club.
Oh, nobody liked it. Nobody liked it.
Was a swing and a miss.
It was terrible. But it made for some really funny, like, good discussion, even though it wasn't good. But no, so that was one where I went back. And I'm like, no, this book doesn't even deserve 2 stars. So I went back and literally changed it to 1.
Yeah.
But no, if like, in my mind, if something is going to get that low of a rating, I'm like, well, that's a DNF for me, so I won't even be reviewing it at that point. I know, I couldn't, I knew I would.
You don't have the book anymore,
I don't, because I got it from the library.
Do it.
It's called The Last Resort. It's a red cover, because there's a different book that has a similar title, and it actually, Aardvark carries it, and I think it's actually called, like, The House of Last Resort or something like that. And I've not read that one. And that one has actually a really cool cover. I'm still curious to maybe read that one at some point. And Aardvark does still carry it. But it's called just The Last Resort.
The Last Resort.
And it's a red cover with like it's like an island or something. It's like got this like kind of creepy vibes on the front. It actually looked really good. But like all of us were like, what the description says on this book is not what we just read.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, what did we just read? Like, we almost wonder if, like we don't even know how it... Yes, Susie Holiday. Yep, that's the one.
Susie Holiday.
If you've not read it, I wouldn't bother. What we thought was that she had some, like, decent ideas. Like, we were like, okay, this seemed like a cool concept for a story. But it was just not cohesive. That's what we felt. Like, it was just like a bunch of things just like thrown in. We're like, did anybody even edit this book? Hi, Maria.
Oh, Maria.
Thanks for joining.
Happy you're here.
We're talking about a book that I read for in-person book club that was like the lowest rating I've ever given a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about finishing a book that you give 1 star to.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, should you finish a book if you don't like it that much?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all leading up to a book I read over the weekend. It is a novella.
That you didn't like?
No.
You did. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, the funny thing about this, after I read it,
Majority of ratings were 3 stars. Yeah. On that one book.
So, this is one of the books, after I read it, I gave it 4 stars, which is part of the reason I'm considering dropping it down to 3 stars.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went back in Goodreads and I read the reviews, it was like either everyone gave it 5 stars or everyone gave it 1 star. It was like most of the reviews were 1 star, most were 5 stars. So it's like you either loved it or you hated it. There was really no 2, 3, or 4 stars. So I was reading through, I was like, this is really interesting. Because I'm very generous. I give it 4 stars. I'm not sure how I feel, but it's this little novella called The Most. by Jessica Anthony. I think I talked about this book, was it last week or maybe during our Beer and Books episode?
I think that we brought it up.
But it was a book that Katie picked up that we were both interested in. I do have books all the time.
I'm glad you're comfortable
Good for you.
with that.
Good for you. That's got to become more of a common thing.
Yep.
But this book was so bizarre, and there really was no plot line to it. And the little review on the back, it's very, I don't know.
What, the blurb on the back?
The blurb on the back
doesn't really give you much insight.
It doesn't give you much insight into it, but the reason I gave it 4 stars is because I thought it was really well written. I mean, very poetic, but the story was not interesting.
Okay.
And it was very depressing. Yeah.
Yes. Too
sure.
Too short. Life is too short.
Very depressing, and it's about the main character, Kathleen. She ends up spending the day in her apartment's pool, and it's kind of going back and forth in timeline, and she's just kind of realizing, how did I get to this point in my marriage? And their marriage is very unhappy, and they're both turned out to not be faithful to each other. So, yeah, but I don't know. So, if you check this out,
if it ain't vibing.
If it ain't vibing,
I like it.
Yeah. So, but that's leading in. This book was just really odd.
Yeah.
And I went back and read the reviews after. It's like people thought it was amazing, well written, so poetic, or other people are like, this book was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
It was like all 5 and 1 star reviews. And I was like, is my 4 stars that? But I think I might go back and change it to a 3.
Yeah. Well, you probably didn't like the content.
No,
but that, like, I think probably my guess, and I've not read it, is that people appreciated it for the writing style.
Oh, yes.
Probably if a book is really well written, even if there's parts or maybe the whole plot that you don't like. I mean, I think I'd have a hard time rating a book really high if I literally didn't like what it was about, even if it was well written. Like, I would have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
But, you kind of went in blindly because, I didn't really know much about it based on just what it says on the back of the book.
Yeah, it sounded very interesting, and I did like it. That's the thing. I did like it. I didn't love
it.
You
didn't hate it, yeah.
But after looking at the reviews, is what I'm getting at. I kind of want to change my review.
Yeah.
Which is something I said I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, they're so spot on. Like, there was no plot. Both of the characters were horrendous. But it was written so beautifully, and it was very hard to stop reading.
Yeah.
So maybe check this one out. But
maybe not.
Katie's gonna read it, then she'll give her review. But I enjoyed it. Like, I cranked it out over the weekend. But it's the thing. I was prioritizing it. That means that I was enjoying it enough. To prioritize it.
You weren't picking up something else.
But I was so interested to see what happens, and the sad part is, nothing happened.
Okay.
Because there really was no plot.
You don't get, like, a happy ending out of it?
No.
It's just a depressing book.
So I finished that one.
No redeeming ending.
Yeah. So my first book of February was this one, and
it's like,
things will only improve from here.
And if you got on a little later, I said earlier that I finished a short story. They call it short story, similar to a novella. But the one I read was even shorter than that. That was like 130 some pages, maybe?
133,
The one I read was 80 pages on my Kindle. An Abby Jimenez short story. Super cute. Knocked that out yesterday afternoon in like less than an hour. I love everything she writes, so that's not shocking there. It was like perfect for February, for month of love. It's called The Fall Risk. So read that one and then finished up this one, A 40-Year Kiss. So two romances back to back for me, which is funny because, one of my goals for this year was to read more thrillers. But hey, I'm allowing it, especially for the month of February. Maybe for the rest of the year, I'll be a little less heavy on romances, but I know, isn't it?
Yeah, show the pages.
Oh my gosh,
too.
And look at the pages. They're sprayed edges. I am obsessed, and this book didn't cost me anything. But you should order it. The publisher sent this to me because I am they're part of their influencer program. What is it? Landmarked books, source books. That's like their little emblem logo. So I've gotten a few books from them, and then I've gotten books from them digitally that I like as a galley, net galley, that I've read that way. And this isn't even an ARC. This is like a completed copy. This book comes out tomorrow. By Nicholas Butler. He is a local author. So he is, a Wisconsin author.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he was born in Wisconsin. I think. I mean, maybe. It says he lives in Wisconsin.
Okay.
He's a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, which Madison is not very far from us. But yeah, so they sent me this book sometime last month. And I was like, yeah, I really want to read that and hopefully read it by pub date. And it forced me to actually get it done by pub date because I found out that he's, going to be like 30 minutes away from us tomorrow night at an author event. So he's going to be at a brewery, and a local bookstore is hosting the event at the brewery. So we're going to get to meet him. He'll be able to sign my book. Corey has not read it, but he's still coming along for the ride. But this book was amazing. I loved it. It made me cry. I was really rooting for the couple in this book. So it's a second chance romance. They were married for a very short period of time in the 80s. They ended up divorced. So I'm not giving anything away. That's the premise of the book. And I guess I won't say like what the downfall was. I'll let you figure that out for yourself if you decide to read it. But yeah, they like reconnect 40 years later. They're in their 60s now. And so I wondered if this book would like go back and forth, like, and have a dual timeline situation happening. But no, actually all of it takes place in the present time when they're in their 60s. So it's a love story for like, this over middle age couple. And they of course like touch on things from the past, like they'll kind of like reminisce about past things or talk about it, but none of it really like, fully takes place in the past. But yeah, I loved it. The only thing I could say that I thought was interesting, and you'll have to let me know if you've read a book like this before too, but he chose not to use any or any like quotations or anything like that. So like for them talking back and forth to each other, any character whatsoever, there's no quotation marks. So
interesting.
Yeah, but it like took me a minute to get used to that, like, because you're like, wait, who's like, because there was like, who's talking, like, and I don't know, it worked out.
Maybe someone will ask that question tomorrow.
Yeah,
we got some questions for him.
I don't really know why, but yeah. And it is told from dual perspectives though, so not dual timelines, but they do take turns narrating the male
I like when they do
main character and the female main character. But I loved the side characters in this. It was a beautiful love story for the ages, and I don't read a lot of second chance romance where it was like a divorced couple who actually rekindles and like gets back together and finds their way,
especially that much
later in the future. So yeah, I finished it with a big old smile on my face, and I just thought it was very tender, very well written. I'm really excited to hear him talk about it and get to meet him. And I have another one of his books on my bookshelf. So I'm actually like kind of hoping I would get to that sooner rather than later, because I definitely like him as an author.
Hopefully he signs both of them.
Yes. So.
And the brewing company we're going to, they actually made like a special beer.
Yeah, a special edition
like a
beer to kind of like go with
Kiss beer
his book.
To like pair with the
kind of cool.
With the book.
So we'll definitely get a picture of that. And yeah, that cover
the beer
is
and
just
books
stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really great. Corey wondered, and maybe somebody will ask it, and if they don't ask it, we could ask. I guess if he allows questions and stuff like that. I know it's different at all at author events, but I think they may leave a little time, for some for some specific questions. I think maybe they don't if it's like a full panel of like a bunch of authors like talking and they're just kind of in conversation with each other. But yeah, Corey wondered if maybe like he had a personal connection to like maybe he based these characters off of like somebody in his life, or I don't know, just with the way that the way in which he wrote.
It's very specific, like 40 years and just some of she was sharing a lot of the book with me.
Yeah.
Because I won't be
I didn't ruin it for you.
I wasn't going to be able to read it
shared some
in
things.
time for tomorrow, so I wanted to like get a pretty good
Mm-hmm.
idea of what the book was about.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sharing a lot with me. I was like, it's a very interesting story.
Yeah.
It seems very good idea for a book. If it wasn't like from personal experience, I mean, it's a very good idea. So.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think some authors will say that like there wasn't somebody specific in mind, but like they were maybe inspired by
Based on something
loosely or like in their own lives or somebody else's life. But
so we're excited for that. We don't get a lot of authors coming to our area.
We really don't.
This will be our third author event together in our state. Mm-hmm. And so it's gonna be fun. Yeah. It'll be fun.
And he's not like a super well-known author probably. I mean, because he's local to us, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. We're excited.
Got a few books. All right. We got to talk about the virtual book club book. We always got to bring it up. Mm-hmm. And I want to, where's your post-it? I want to show them your post-it.
Oh, I took it off because I thought it was...
I wanted to show everyone the post-it.
My post-it for me.
Yeah, so who's all in our virtual book? Are you in our virtual book club, Cassie? I don't remember.
And Nicole definitely is.
We know what Nicole is. She's all about it. Mm-hmm. But we are reading for this month. We're meeting the 23rd, the Banned Bookshop of Maggie Banks. So I wanted to show Katie put this post-it note.
For myself.
You can't read it, but it says,
it'd be like backwards.
But it says, start by Thursday, February 13th.
It's very specific.
So she's like left herself.
I need to start it by next Thursday at the latest.
When to start it, and I like.
You probably need to start it a little sooner.
I like to start them 2 weeks, so I'll probably start it. Maybe I should make my note here, February 9th, to start this book. I give myself 2 weeks. 'Cause I'm a lot slower of a reader, but.
Yeah, I give myself between 7 to 10 days, but I like to start on that when there's 10 days until. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of people have read this book. I was kind of surprised to hear how many people have already read this book, have heard of it, and it seems like everyone's kind of mostly enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So we'll start. Katie starting on the 9th, 13th. I'll start on the 9th. Yeah. So if you're part of our book club, reading that one, looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. See you guys on the 23rd. If you're not a part of it. Make sure to message us and get hooked up with the links to join the book club. Mm-hmm. We're still looking for a name. You're not in it. Wow.
Oh, why did
We're still looking for a name for our book club. Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to call it book club sandwich, but that one's not hitting yet.
So somebody in our group, Lou, suggested one that would have been awesome if I hadn't changed our handle.
Yeah.
He thought all books welcome, and it would be spelled ALLL, not like how you normally spell all.
Yeah.
Sandwich. Because my old handle on Instagram was A Love for Life and Literacy, so it was like 3 L's. Mm-hmm. The alliteration there was like, whew. So I needed to change it because it was too long of a handle, so that's why it's the same here now. Married Bookworms, and that's what it is on Instagram. But yes, I don't know if there'd be anything that could do with that or just something totally different. We're
still looking for ideas for the name of the book club. So let us know. We need a good name. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need a name, but it'd be nice to have a name.
Well, yeah.
And then we can get t-shirts made.
Thank you.
We need some t-shirts made for the book club.
Would be good. So we can all sport them when we're meeting virtually, and I can try to get a picture. Everybody showing their shirts.
That would be sweet.
Pretty cute.
That would be cool. So you want to show this book since you finally started it?
Yeah, finally started this, but am barely into it, and it's not because I don't like it, but it's because I really did want to finish up that one that I just showed you because I knew I wanted to have it done by tomorrow. So I finished that one. So I am going to read some more of this tonight. After we wrap up with you guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm literally only 2 chapters in, and Very Hungry Bookworms. That's a great idea.
The whole of
eating through
Very Hungry
the sandwich. Is that what you said? The book sandwich. That would be really funny.
That's very good.
Yeah. Yes. Instead of the very hungry caterpillar. I like it.
Because we devour books.
Yes,
right.
That's very true. Very
book
accurate.
Sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. I started this at almost 12:30 a.m. the other night, so that's another reason I didn't make it very far. But I was also super wide awake for some reason. So I was like, oh, sure, I'll start another book. No big deal. But then I must have gotten tired after 2 chapters. And funny enough, here's my bookmark that says, stay up late. But yeah, my initial thoughts are that I like it, so I'm definitely wanting to pick it back up and read more.
You're not hooked yet?
The Book Witch Club. I like it.
See?
Some different variations.
We're getting creative.
Yeah. If you've read The Housemaid and the subsequent books in this series, let me know. What is that noise outside?
Is that outside?
I don't know. Maybe it's somebody taking out their trash.
Oh, the garbage.
Could be that.
Tomorrow's garbage day.
Garbage day.
You're right.
And I'm like talking about a creepy book. I'm like, what is that sound?
That was scary.
So yeah, there's what is the second one? The Housemaid.
Housemaid is Watching?
The Housemaid is Watching, or is that the last one? I don't know. Probably wouldn't say in here because yeah, this is the first one. But I do have the other ones, and I think there's like a little novella that comes between like maybe book 2 and 3. I really should know more about this, but
yeah.
Housemaid's Secret. Okay, The Housemaid is Watching was 4 stars for you. Okay, but you really loved the first 2. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm excited to get further into that, and I will share more with you when I do. And the thing I was gonna say about that book is if anybody else has heard the drama surrounding that book, there's another one that I've heard is very, very similar. I have read the description of the other one, but that it's almost like an identical book to this other book that came out first. So I'd like to hear if you know anything about that, and if you've read the other book, and if you feel that way. Because then I've heard people saying that they're really upset that The Housemaid is now going to be made into a movie, but not the other book.
I thought we read The Housemaid came out first, though.
No, that was a different one. That was a different book. There's drama about a different book. So then there's like this drama about Verity by Colleen Hoover and another Frida McFadden book that is also very similar. Like the plots are very similar.
Yeah, that was the one.
People thought that it was like the Frida McFadden book came out first, and then Verity was really, really similar. But I think what happened was, like Verity came out like republished again or something like that. I'm gonna have to look into the drama surrounding that too. Sandwich Chronicles book in oh my gosh, we're gonna have to look at this when it doesn't disappear. We'll have to, we'll have to jot it down.
We gotta check those out.
We'll check out the The Wife Upstairs. Okay, so I've not read that. The Wife Upstairs. I have read Verity. But I guess what I was
Per chat. Oh, you look.
Oh, you've heard that Frida has copied off others. Okay, interesting. So yeah, that's interesting because the other book that's similar to The Housemaid is like The Last Mrs. Parrish or something like that. I want to say, and I can't think of the author right now. Oh boy. Hey, no. Our dogs are barking because they obviously hear whatever's happening outside. So I think one of us will have to go deal with that.
Wow. Yes. People are taking their garbages out, and our dogs are not cool with it. So you can look behind me, the shelf. Wait. No, wait. Am I on the right side now? Yeah, so we went through our bookshelf yesterday. Katie posted a reel on Instagram of us reorganizing our bookshelf because not tomorrow, sometime this week, we're getting all of our new books from the Aardvark book club. So we had to go through and make some room for all the new books we're getting because we got 6 new books coming from the Aardvark book club. Hopefully soon, like in the next couple days. I think by Friday for sure. So I think by our Friday Beer Books episode, we should be able to show all of our new Aardvark book club picks.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're going to be
So we had to go through the bookshelf and make room. We had to move some stuff upstairs, move some stuff around so we can make room for our new Aardvark Book Club books. So we got 6 coming. And we're going to be getting 6 books from them every month for this whole year.
Yeah.
Since they were very generous and gave us some complimentary... Yeah, they gave us some complimentary memberships.
Last Mrs. Parrish, Liv Constantine. Yeah, I couldn't think of.
We were reading up on the thing and kind of seeing what people were saying about the drama with it.
Yeah, because then with the other, it was like Verity was self-published or something like that is what I want to say.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
New books.
So we'll show with you our new Aardvark Book Club books. We're very excited.
Did you talk about ones that are on the floor though yet? Or I mean, like, did you bring
No.
up that we have them here? Okay. So we did collect some though that are not their new selections because obviously we're waiting on those, as Corey was saying. But these are ones that you can still get from them. So you would pick one of their new books. That would be your $4 book. But then any of these that we have down here on the floor that we will show you, you can add on for just $9.99. So that's like a super good deal in my opinion. Because if like we've said before, if you have not held one of their books in your hands yet, you are missing out. Yeah. That's all I can say because they're like, I just feel like the quality is next level.
Yeah, so if you sign up with Aardvark, pick one of their main book club, one of their main picks. You could add on 2 books. You could get 3 books total for $24.
Right.
3 hardcover books. That's less
for your first one. Yeah. And then if you get 2 more. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get 3 hardcovers any of the other places.
I mean, but we obviously like to support the other places too and spend a little more money to do so. But it is nice to get the deal with the book subscription. Of course, you get, their logo on it, just like you do with Book of the Month or probably other book subscriptions out there. I'm not really sure because I've not subscribed to other physical book subscriptions. But yeah, we've talked about the placement of their logo too, and I think it's more tasteful than Book of the Month personally. But yeah, not throwing any shade there, but yeah, I did decide to cut ties with them officially and just go the Aardvark route. But this one that I'm holding is one of the newer picks. I think it was new last month, I want to say. This is After the Ocean by Lauren E. Rico, author of Familia. I've not read that one.
That book's been going around the socials quite a bit. It sounds really good.
How do you find your way back when you've left yourself behind? Filled with emotion and intrigue, in this compelling novel, a painful unsolved mystery from one woman's past resurfaces years later and sends her on a mission that will impact her family in ways they never could have expected. This looks really good. It's like I think mystery, like family drama type book. It's like really nice and short too.
So we'll go through them pretty quick, but we're going to show
for the sake of time.
All these books are still available on Aardvark. That was the point of us showing them.
Yes.
So you could still grab any of these books.
Can't show our new ones in person.
We don't have them yet.
We don't have them, but you can definitely see them on the website.
This one's still available too. You Know What You Did. I've actually read this one already. Katie has not yet, but this one's still available. Really good psychological thriller. I thought it was excellent. But another one of those books that, the Goodreads reviews were not as positive as mine, but I thought it was great. This was one of my top 10, I think, from last year.
Nice. This one is Red River Road. Talk about cool covers. Look at this.
I'm actually shocked neither of us have picked that one up yet.
I know, because, man, this is one where I just, want to read it based on the cover alone. And then I love how they implemented their logo on this one, that it's in the O.
Yeah, let me show you this one real quick too. Same with the You Know What You Did.
Over there too. But this is this is a mystery thriller. This is by Anna Downs. Is she running for safety or being driven into darkness? The main character is named Katie as well. It's a bonus. She spells it wrong.
What's the right way? Your way?
Katie is how I spell mine. This is Katy. Oh man, this is a really cool color combo, by the way, also without the
I love it,
the dust jacket on. So that one is pretty cool. I really should move that one up on my list because I've been staring at it a lot for sure.
One that I've been staring at quite a bit is this one, Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan. He's the author of the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy. Look at how they hide the logo on here. You can barely see it.
Yeah, but it's kind of sneaky.
Yeah, this is one that's definitely been calling my name.
It's a bit thicker of a book for you.
I know.
Are you gonna be able to handle it? You gotta see how many pages.
It's like 6 novellas in here.
Yeah.
4.
It's not 500
about
pages.
450. Very. It seems I could accomplish this one. I think.
Yes. Just might take you a little bit longer. This one also has a really stunning cover. It's called Like Mother by Susan Rieger. I believe this falls into lit fic. I want to say. is it? It says, an enthralling multi-generational family saga about strong-willed women whose lives are unknowingly shaped by the secrets buried in their pasts. Okay, so it's actually like historical fiction too. It looks like it takes place in Detroit, 1960.
Okay.
Ooh, let's take a look at underneath this one too. Oh, so pretty. Look at that color combo.
Are those wicked colors?
Ish.
Just
It's
about.
not the right green.
No, a little different. What do we got here? This is one I probably won't read, but I'll show it for Katie's sake. The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. This one is still available on Aardvark. I mean...
What do you mean you're not? You gotta read a Sarah Adams book,
but
too.
would it be this one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not first, because she does have ones that you should kind of read in a certain order.
A really fun, chemistry-filled sports romance you don't want to miss.
So that is one thing. You don't have to read Sarah Adams books in order necessarily, but she does write little like series. So this one, the one that would come before this is called the Cheat Sheet. So I'm planning to read that, and I don't have that in aardvark form. They've never carried it.
So this looks like a second chance romance too.
Yeah.
The sporty second chance romances of your dreams.
Aww.
So love Sarah Adams, yeah.
Yes.
Most people seem to love.
I loved her most recent release, Beg, Borrow, or Steal. So yeah, I've only read her Rome series so far. So yeah, my next read by her will be the Cheat Sheet, and then I'll move on to the Rule Book, the one that Corey just showed.
What about Practice Makes Perfect?
I already read that one. That's part of the Rome. So there's When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect, Beg, Borrow, or Steal, and then I believe there's going to be a fourth one. I think a fourth and final one in that series,
nice.
I want to say. So I'll be excited for that. I'm sure that will be coming out around the same time that Beg, Borrow, or Steal just came out, which I think was only last month. This next one is a romance rom-com, Under Lock and Key by Lena Ferguson. I've not read anything by her before. I have heard that her books tend to be a little bit spicy, so we'll see how I feel about it, and might just have to, skip some pages here and there. But yeah, I love the cover on this one too. It's like really fun. And then look at the binding.
So like a Loch Ness monster or what?
It's magical realism romance, which is kind of fun. And then this one's actually signed. I got this one signed, so that's pretty cool.
That's nice.
A woman discovers that not all monsters are her enemy. The opposite, in fact, in this new paranormal romance by Lena Ferguson, USA Today bestselling author of The Fake Mate. I also have that one by this same author. So this was a repeat author from Aardvark. I don't think that The Fake Mate is still available through them, so that's why we're not showing it. But so I do have two by this author. I think I'm going to read The Fake Mate before this one because I've had The Fake Mate longer.
You've had that one a while.
But yeah, paranormal romance, which, is not everybody's jam, but I think it kind of adds like an extra fun element to a romance. So.
Yeah. So the next one is one that Katie's in-person book club will actually be doing. And this is one of the months I'll probably join in on. I don't always join in on her in-person book club.
Sometimes, yeah.
But if there's a book they're reading I want to read, I will be joining in. But this is one of them. It's called Ghost Station. You guys doing this in October, maybe?
I think so, yeah. It's a genre-bending one. It's horror, but also like sci-fi and psychological thriller.
It's a space horror. So
kind of different. It'll be definitely different for our group.
Yeah, definitely different for, I think, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of a space horror.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes place in 2199. So like in the future. So is that like not historical fiction if it's like future fiction?
Well, sci-fi, I think it's basically what
I'm going with future fiction. Sure, I like that better. Ghost Station.
That's kind of a cool. What's the?
It's very intriguing.
What does it look like without the dust jacket? Yeah. I'm obsessed now with looking at this.
Oh,
that's pretty
not what I was
cool.
expecting actually.
Yeah, it's got like red, or orangish.
Yeah.
Cool, and like blue and blue. It's kind of fun. But yeah, so that'll be a later in the year one. But yeah, I'm excited. And then the next one we have is this pretty pink book. It doesn't really match my nails, but I mean, sort of. Maybe my nails like match part of it. This one's called Perfume and Pain. Her bad behavior just got worse. This is by Anna Dorn. This isn't one that I picked through them. It was like sent to us. It was like where we got like I think we got all of them in a month, like randomly. Just because somebody else wanted to like kind of help or do like a promotion reel video for them. So they sent us each like all of the books, which was pretty cool. So this might not be one that I would necessarily pick. I'll probably try to give it a read at some point. And no, haven't felt like this urge to get it off my shelf if I'm like, not thinking I'll read it.
It's too nice looking of a book.
But it's a really pretty looking book. It just, might not be for everyone. Will she find success in her career? Will she ever find true love? Or will she only know perfume and pain?
Ooh, yes.
So she's an actress and an influencer. I've heard that it's like it's got like some, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if it's dark humor, but it's like, supposed to be kind of funny. I don't know if what genre it would even necessarily fall into. Maybe contemporary fiction. I'd have to look it up on Aardvark because it always says what the genre is.
Correct, yeah.
But I'll probably try to give it a read at some point. It's not high on my TBR, but it is really a nice looking book.
It really is.
What does this look like? Oh, it's like it's green and pink, which is fun. Oh, and this one looks like it's red or orange on the side too. That's kind of cool. It has a perfume bottle on the binding. So there's that one, and they do still have it available. They have not gone out of stock with that one.
And then the last book in the stack is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. Solve the murder to save what's left of the world. This was one we were both kind of intrigued by.
Like a genre bending one as well.
From the best-selling author of 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and The Devil in the Dark Water.
I've heard really good things about the 7.5 Deaths of
inventive, high-concept mystery. It's an ingenious puzzle, an extraordinary backdrop, and an audacious solution. I mean, that's a lot of big, good words right there. So those are all the books that we own that are still available through Aardvark that you could grab if you want to sign up to get a subscription with them.
Okay, let's do one more.
One more. That one I like, yeah.
This one's cool. It's like orange and yellow.
Like I've said this before, like wouldn't it be so cool to just take all the jackets off and just line them up on your bookshelf with these bindings? It would look amazing. We gotta do that sometime.
I know.
Get a picture. It would look, but it'd be so scary. You don't want to mess up the dust jackets.
Yeah, because the dust jackets are pretty too. But then the bummer part is when they're on your shelf, you only see the binding anyway. You don't see the pretty
You're very right.
cover. So
that's true.
I don't know.
So we're excited to show our new books. We'll show them hopefully for our Friday episode of Beer and Books.
Yeah, I would think they should be here by then. I'll have to check the tracking and
Yeah, so we had to clear that space on the bookshelf because
so it looks bad right now.
Books
but
are
they're gonna get like 6 more books.
And another question I have, when we were doing our book reorganization, like behind our bookshelf, the books, it was so dusty.
Yeah.
It was horrible, so dusty.
But once we were already like filming that, I was like, well, I'm not gonna go run and get the duster and like come back and do that right now. So like we might need to.
We dust our bookshelves quite a bit, but like we'll dust like in front of the books, like on the sides. But there's a space behind the books that was so dusty. It was really gross. Yeah. Like I could still see it. Like I looked back there to grab the books off the shelf.
Yeah.
It's like, how often do people dust behind their books? Yeah. Is that a thing? Yeah. Do you have to?
So we always like dust in front, but like depending on how big your shelves are, maybe your shelf space is so small.
Yeah.
Or do you pick them up too and dust under them? Because I mean, dust collects under your books.
They say you're supposed to pull your books all the way forward to the edge of your bookshelf. That. Like we keep ours like in the middle.
Yeah.
So like there'd be a lot of space behind them to collect dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a reel about dusting your bookshelf and how it's bookshelf etiquette.
Yes.
Doing the dust is a must, but I guess we just forgot the dust behind the books. So we got to do that. Maybe we should do that now that the books are off it before we make it all pretty again.
We'll sign off here and do our dusting and then have a little bit
of a must.
Reading time, and hopefully you're getting some reading time in tonight too. But thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we have a few minutes left. Always. If anybody has a question, we have about 5 minutes left until we hit our hour point. If anyone has any questions for us.
If not, we'll end early though.
We can end
We're not
early.
gonna sit here in awkward
No, we're
silence.
gonna sit and wait. We'll just read.
For 5 minutes.
Does anybody read with us for 5 minutes? Quick.
Yeah, Corey has thought about doing that as like a video, just coming on and like we're just gonna sit there and read, and maybe if like people wanted to use it as their like accountability to sit down and
But it'd be like a silent.
We'd be like doing it together, a silent book club.
They call it a silent book club, where like we schedule a time, we all meet. We all like meet and read.
Yeah.
But
together, but obviously, you're reading on
your
own.
But it's just like a video of us reading. Mm-hmm. It's like a way of reading together, but
we could put some like instrumental music with it, so it's not like super awkward unless you can't read with instrumental music,
But then you're accountable to read. It's like I'm gonna turn on their video, read with them for 30 minutes.
Yep.
And it will count down, but
yeah.
It's probably a bad idea.
We'll see. If you ever think that would be a cool idea and you would turn it on and do that with us, then let us know. Unless you think that's just completely silly.
I mean, like we consider it a date night to be like reading by each other.
Yeah,
exactly. It's the same concept,
and then
right?
we we'll occasionally talk to each other about it afterwards and have like a little mini discussion, but without giving things away, especially if the other person is planning to read the same book.
Or if it's a book we've both read, it's kind of nice to exchange notes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's
cool. If you don't have any questions, maybe you'll think of some and you can let us know like prior to our next episode. Because I think a lot of us chat on Instagram, like chat in other places. So if we don't do that, feel free to comment on this video later too, though, even after the fact, and we can see it. We will look at all of those book club name ideas too. Yeah. Oh, you pull them to the edge to avoid visible dust. Okay, see, that makes sense, because if they're pulled to the front, you're not getting it in front of them. So we get it in front of them and behind them.
But that's the bad part, is the between the books and the shelf dust. I was appalled, but so our